Welcome to Reality is Undefeated. I'm at Gatewood. Thank you for tuning in. I don't remember how old I was when I first saw Boyz N The Hood. It came out when I was 6, so I'm guessing I was 7 or 8. From the very beginning, the gunshots over the dark title screen resonate. Because as I lay in that dark 4-bedroom house on Berg, those same shots would ring out. Not close enough for me to be worried, but not far enough for me not to be worried about other people I knew. The movie I watched as a kid, that movie was about a group of boys growing up in a rough environment and doing their best to navigate the challenges of life in that environment being the hood and looking very similar to what I knew as home. But even after everything I had seen in my life up until that point, and the fact that I was at an age where I fully understood it was fictional, it traumatized me watching Ricky die that way. I promise you I spent most of my life afraid of double-barrel shotguns, but that was my viewpoint as a kid. As a man, when I watch that film, I'm able to appreciate every bit of the brilliance that John Singleton put on display in what is, in my opinion, one of the greatest films ever. He told the story of brotherhood. That group of young boys growing up to be men, each having their own personal challenges, but each having each other's back from beginning to end. He told a story of single motherhood and how having different daddies can result in children having different mothers. In just 2 scenes, he told the story of the relationship between black men and the police. He told a story of our youth struggling with morality. He also used the platform to educate us about HIV and the importance of having safe sex. But the most important story he told was that of black fatherhood. He wrote and directed the greatest father-son story ever told in black cinema history. Greater than South Central, the story of redemption and forgiveness. Greater than John Q, the story of how a father's sacrifice is limitless. Even greater than Pursuit of Happiness, the story of a father's ultimate determination. Boyz N The Hood showed the impact that real, responsible, encouraging, active, and leading fathers have in a child's life. There was no heroic scenes in the film. There was no bring it home speech. Just all the subtle things that make a huge difference in determining who a child is going to grow up to be. Through the character Furious Styles, the audience was shown a black father showing his black son discipline, order, responsibility, leadership, how to defend your home. And when Trey was like, you should have blew his head off, he said, don't say that. It's just contributing to another brother losing his life. That's understanding. The fathers in the audience was shown how spending time with your child could keep them out of trouble and how that time could be used to instill core values in them. As Trey got older, the young men in the audience who didn't have fathers were given lessons. Use the contraceptives. This is the importance of black ownership in black communities. A black man has no place in a white man's army. But the most powerful and consequential scene to me comes at the end when Trey walks in the house and his father exits the room. And the silence and stares spoke the words. Furious Styles was sitting in that chair for hours with those Chinese stress-relieving balls. Knowing that he did everything he could to keep his son from getting in that car. Knowing that the only thing that's going to determine whether or not his son made the right decision was the guidance and lessons that he's given him over the previous 7 years. And for the audience to be shown Trey getting out that car, it was an important and powerful image for black fatherhood, especially at a time where the media was reporting the opposite. John Singleton drew up a Basquiat out the gate. It was an absolute masterpiece. A black man in his first film decided to tell a story of how black fathers are necessary in their sons' lives. That's honorable. We have no choice but to honor that man. John Singleton was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. He would attend the USC School for Cinematic Arts and graduate in 1990. He wrote and directed Boyz N The Hood, which was released in 1991 and was nominated for an Academy Award in both the Best Original Screenplay and Best Director categories. He would go on to tell several other black stories in films like Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, Rosewood, and of course, Baby Boy, amongst others. He also wrote, executive produced, and directed one of the greatest television series ever in Snowfall. And we know that's near and dear to me because it was my writing that was inspired by Snowfall that brought most of you to my channel. The stories this man told are important to black culture. And what's important to black culture is important to me. Rest in power, John Singleton.